Welcome back to Cigar Time, your wonderful Tuesday evening show all about cigars. And we're still #1.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Last week...
We need a big foam finger.
Yeah.
I have one.
Maybe Tia could twerk us.
What the? All right, that's it.
Wait a minute, how do you go from foam finger to twerking?
I have no idea.
Well, isn't that the same girl that does the finger, does the twerking?
Oh, yeah, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, we're
yeah.
starting off with a
Nice.
bang.
There was a
Nice.
connection. It's amazing.
All right.
Not only are we still #1, but we outpaced Finland and Norway by a full 3 percentage points.
Nice.
So we're running ahead of them.
Good.
I
If
just
we
thought you'd all like
smoked
to know
some
that.
fish,
And we smoked some fish.
we'd run away from them
So we
altogether.
should have lox and bagels next time.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
little schmear and onions and
no
some
lox and
capers.
bagels.
Why not?
I love lox. and
Terrible.
bagels. Ah,
Crazy?
God,
Yeah,
what kind of Jew are you?
Ah.
I'm
not.
The Italian kind.
I'm the Italian kind. I'm the Catholic kind.
he doesn't even like gefilte fish.
Oh my God.
He's
You like the
missing,
anchovies, though.
he's missing all the finer things
When
in
you were
life.
fly fishing, have you ever caught a gefilte fish?
Not on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You ever catch a gedunked chicken? Never mind.
And I have no idea.
What are we
they're
doing
talking
here?
Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I got an idea.
Are we shooting now?
Let's have a cigar.
Are we on now? Oh, God.
I need a cigar. Let's have a cigar.
Yes, this is going to be
Okay,
his 12th
well,
today.
we're going to
Thank you, Paul.
smoke, and the lovely Miss T is going to tell us all about it. The Alec, not Alex,
As in
Alec
Guinness.
Bradley Black Market Robusto,
Alec Guinness.
which
Yes.
means this
Black
is,
market.
This
The
is
black market, the wrapper's a Nicaraguan, the binder's Sumatra, and the filler is Honduran and Panamanian. What?
Wow.
Every time.
Anyway,
Every time.
the size that we're talking about is Robusto, and the taste profile is spicy, peppery, and peaty undertones. What is peaty?
Peaty,
Peaty undertone.
that's like Scotch, peaty.
I just wrote that to see if you would say it.
Really?
Isn't he the dog from the Rascals?
I should have said
That's
pea.
spelled differently.
This is a big Robusto.
It's a robust.
Looks more like a Toro. Oh,
It's not.
I think your stock ran out on the. Oh, okay. It is.
I just like to point out the foot band. Is it a foot band?
It's a Bigfoot band.
It's a really, really big
And
foot
when you-
band.
As opposed to the Yeti band?
It's keeping it warm. It's keeping it warm.
And when you take it off, it still has a regular band.
It does.
Oh, check that. Look at that. See? Very nice. And then put it in. I'm just
Yeah, like that.
playing.
Foot
You're
band
lucky
Yeti.
you're pretty.
Yeah, I got
Thank
it.
you.
Doesn't like it.
Did you say that?
You really did say that.
Well, that was very nice of you.
I'm glad I'm not ugly.
Wow, I didn't know it was a compliment.
I couldn't
but
get
okay.
away with
Oh,
half
you,
this
you were
stuff
talking to me,
if I
weren't you?
was.
Who were you talking to? Oh, and here I thought you were sweet on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
What are
boy.
we doing today?
Oh, Paul, save
No,
me.
or not.
Paul, please save me.
How am I going
Oh, you don't like gefilte fish. You don't deserve
He's
to
going
be
back to
saved.
Cuba.
Oh, let's go back. Oh, I can't
Look,
wait.
look at
Let's
his
go.
finger.
I'm ready.
Place a show.
Are you twerking?
Oh, my God.
Finger twerk.
No.
I think you
Nor
have.
do I have any plans to.
I think you have
I did.
spring fever.
I did it to embarrass my daughter.
Oh.
Where? Where were you? Where were you?
I don't know.
Another
I'm old,
guy
I
if
can't
I
remember.
ever did that, my kids would beat me to death. To death.
And well, they should.
Yeah.
It'd be justifiable homicide. Are we ready to talk about
can
Cuba,
tell it's
or you
late
just
today.
want to just keep beating around the bush here? Well, we had Paul
we
Bush
can-
on
No, he's
before.
really enjoying that.
I'm enjoying the cigar too much. We
He's
can talk
already
about
halfway
Cuba.
through.
Well, let's talk about Cuba.
Let us know when
Well,
you're done.
where were we when
Let's
we
try to
left
do it in this
off?
century.
In a century?
You left off in the 1800s.
We left
Yes.
off at, yes.
So
we
you
left-
still have a long ways to go.
But I have nothing to say.
Oh, well,
Well, make some shit
well,
up.
I have a,
No, I haven't.
I have a suggestion. Make it up like you do the rest of the information.
Oh, come on. Well,
right,
where
ladies.
where
Well,
we
let's
where,
start out with it's an island in the Caribbean.
I remember that.
Okay, it's got 12 million people on it.
I didn't remember that.
It's a communist country.
It is still.
Okay.
We left off in the 1800s, and we had talked about the fact that the modern era of great Cuban brands had been born. All of the big brands were established at that point, and the Cuban cigar industry really took off. But it's important in relative terms to understand that the Cuban market taking off still leaves it, and left it then even, as a minuscule part of the cigar business. In the late 1800s, just as an example, Americans smoked over 2 billion cigars a year.
Wow.
Now, at that time, over 40% of all adult males in America smoked cigars.
Yeah.
God, imagine if it was like
That'd be
that
nice
now.
now.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
wouldn't
what the
that be
streets
nice?
look like?
Oh,
That'd be nice.
come
All
on.
those bands, 2 billion bands.
But
A lot of silver teaware.
in its highest production, and it was nowhere near this back then, but in its highest production ever, Cuba never came close to even 500 million cigars. So the greatest it ever did was a very small portion of what the world market and the American market in particular.
Right.
Yeah,
consumed.
they only make about 150 million today.
And every time they try to push that number higher, quality goes right down the
Quality
toilet.
goes,
Yeah.
Coming into the 20th century, and
Did you want me to do this for you?
I would love that, but no. What happened then was the birth of the Cuban Cigar Rollers Union, and they became a very important intellectual and political force in Cuba. And of course, they were an important force in the cigar business because they were the guys making the cigars. In Cuba at that time, and we're talking about just around the turn of the century, Cuban cigar rollers were people who were sort of esteemed. They weren't just laborers. They were kind of esteemed in society. They were sort of intellectuals, which is surprising when you think about it, but they had the lectors reading to them in the rolling galleries, the great literature and philosophy and news of the day, the Bible and so forth. They were very well informed, and because, unlike people in other businesses, they spent time traveling from the farmlands in the rural country and back into the city, they carried information back and forth with them a lot. They were, in fact, the initiators of the first Cuban revolution to break free from Spain. Jose Marti.
Yep.
And the first revolt to overthrow, to cease being a colony of Spain, was started by the Cigar Rollers Union. But the Cigar Rollers Union also was one of the forces that almost drove the Cuban cigar industry out of business. Maybe not unlike some unions today, but I digress. What happened was the Cigar Rollers Union started protesting for higher wages, and the biggest cigar company in the world at that time was the American Cigar Company. And the guy who owned it, and it was one guy who owned the company, was sort of battling with the union, and basically said if they kept making demands, he was going to shut down all of his operations in Cuba and move everything to the United States. And the union called his bluff, and it turned out not to be a bluff. And what happened in very short order was half of the Cuban cigar industry wound up outside of Tampa in Ybor City, and the other half of the industry wound up in Trenton, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And aside from all of the regular domestic cigar companies, all of a sudden the Cuban cigar industry was all here. That's when the idea of what they called clear Havanas was born. That was American Connecticut wrappers on Cuban filler and binder. Eventually, the union and the American Cigar Company settled their differences, and the industry more or less moved back down there. And they sort of marched forward slowly in a reduced form, because the whole industry had been reduced. They marched forward in a reduced form right up until the second Cuban Revolution under Fidel Castro. Interesting to point out that the second revolution was also instigated primarily by members of the Cigar Rollers Union.
Wow.
They were troublemakers both times around.
Don't trust a cigar roller.
One of the questions that we get asked as cigar business people more often than any other is what makes Cuban cigars so special? Why are they different? And you can hear any number of answers. Of course, the first answer anyone will give you is it's forbidden fruit. Since they're illegal in the United States,
Yes.
People like them because they can't have them. And there's a certain amount of merit to that thought, and there's any number of people in the U.S. who just revel in the idea that they have something that you can't get.
Even though in this country most of the so-called Cubans are as phony as a $4 bill.
Well, not unlike the situation in Europe in the 1800s that we
exactly.
talked about a couple of weeks ago. Current estimates are, outside of Cuba, 80% of Cuban cigars that are bought and sold in the world, not just here, in the world, are fake.
That's a lot.
80%.
I was telling this one customer that he said he went down to the Bahamas and brought back a couple Cubans. And I said, I don't think they're real. And he's like, yeah, they're real. I'm like, how do you know? How do
Well,
you know?
we
That's what I'm
could spend
thinking.
weeks discussing how do you
Yeah.
know. That's a whole
We'll
different
save-
topic, and we don't
yeah.
really need to
We'll
discuss
save
that.
that for a different show.
So forbidden fruit is one factor. Another factor, and we can't underestimate this, is they've had 500 years of practice growing tobacco and making cigars on a commercial scale. So even though there are other countries that maybe were doing things with tobacco for as long as they were, that's a little different than having a cigar industry for 500 years, which gives them a certain amount of advantage.
That's a good point.
The last thing, and this is a subject of some debate, people talk about whether the tobacco in Cuba is better than tobacco elsewhere. And for a very long time, people have said, yes, traditionally Cuban tobacco was better. And the presumption has always been the soil is better, it's more fertile, the climate is ideal, the water is different. And bits and pieces of that are true. But the latest thinking, which I found fascinating when I found this out, the latest thinking amongst agronomists is the soil is not better for growing tobacco in Cuba. Basically, and we need to remember this, even back when Columbus arrived there, Cuba was basically a desert island. It is not a rich, fertile environment. There are no volcanoes to support the soil there. There's none of the things that we look for in the other countries that grow tobacco. And what scientists believe now is what makes Cuban tobacco unique is stress, which is kind of ironic since the best thing about cigars is they help you eliminate stress.
Yeah.
But when I say stress, what I mean is plants in general, when they are under stress in a difficult environment, they produce more of what are called phytochemicals, which are certain kinds of nutrients. And it's a defensive posture that the plant takes. Well, it turns out that the phytochemicals that tobacco produces when it's under certain kinds of stress are the ones that make it taste good. So, in fact, it's because the soil is poor that Cuban tobacco has tasted the way it has for all these hundreds of years. And what's interesting to me about that is all of the other countries that say, well, our climate is like Cuba's, so it's a good place to grow tobacco. The climate might be like Cuba. The soil is nothing like Cuba. All the other tobacco growing countries are incredibly fertile places to plant anything. Is that a good place for me to stop?
Yeah, I think that's a good place for you to stop.
That's interesting.
Well, a lot of people say that I think Cuban cigars, they claim they're better. I just think they're different.
They are different.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't think they're better.
assuming
at all.
I've actually had one, considering all the fakes are out
They have a
there, but I just
distinct
think they're-
Nicaraguan taste to them. I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time now to discuss our Alec Bradley and give it a rating or so. So why don't we go around the table? Miss T?
I get the spice, I get the pepper, and I was getting something else. I guess that's the peaty undertones that I don't really know what that tastes like. No, but you definitely get the spice and the pepper. Like I said before, Alec Bradley is one of my favorite brands. I'm kind of interested in the Panamanian because you don't really see that in a lot of
Yeah.
cigars,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that kind of makes it stand out. Plus, it's mixed with Honduran, which is my favorite. So, great cigar. Pick it up.
Rob?
Yeah. I don't necessarily get the spice. I definitely get the peppery taste.
What about the peaty?
I don't get the peaty.
Well, you just think of it as like damp, earthy kind
Earthy
of taste.
taste,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, and that I get.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mostly get the pepper taste to it. It's not like not like a cedar pepper, or like a Cameroon peppery taste. It's a different kind of pepper.
Not sweet. It's more like a
Right.
spicy pepper.
Right.
Black
It's
pepper.
black pepper, not
Black
white
pepper,
pepper.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Black
Yeah,
pepper.
black pepper.
Yeah, it's very good. This is one of my favorite Alec Bradley cigars, the Black Market. I think it's very, very tasty.
Isn't it their #1 selling cigar?
I believe
It
when
might
Mr.
be, I'm not-
Lipson was with us,
Yeah, he said it
said
was
that
their
this was
number
their
one.
Yeah.
best-selling
The
brand.
bestseller, yeah. Paul?
I like it a lot. It's, I guess it's officially a Maduro.
Okay.
As far as I know, I believe the wrapper is considered a Nicaraguan Maduro. The way it's fermented would suggest that. It's certainly dark enough. I like it a lot. I think it has a little bit of sweetness. I don't get a lot of peaty. I mostly get pepper,
Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the pepper.
but
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
Scott?
I do. I get the pepper also, and I do get the peaty. When you describe it as kind of the musty, almost not mold, but or damp.
Damp
but,
earth.
but yeah, I get those. I definitely get those undertones. Very nice cigar. I think Rob, we originally had this at one of the IPCPR shows.
Yes.
In Vegas a
Years
couple years
ago,
ago.
yeah. When it
And,
first came
I
out,
liked
yeah.
it then, and I very much enjoy
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
Ashman.
I would say, can't really improve upon what you said. To me, I'm certainly getting that black pepper.
Yeah.
Clear. And it's pretty smooth for a peppery
It is.
cigar.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I'm
smooth.
not getting that herky-jerky back in the throat feeling that I
Right.
often get with a lesser cigar. No, it's a great cigar.
It's like right on a medium.
You know what else? I think it's medium. I think it's a little stronger than the
Stronger
rest
than
of you think.
medium,
But
I
no,
think.
I forgot. I'm also getting a little
Licorice?
touch of licorice. Yes, a little bit of anise. It almost,
And
Yeah.
for lack of a better way of describing it, almost
I'm
makes
getting a
the
little
tip
of
of your
that,
tongue
too.
just a little
I'm
bit
getting a
numb.
little of that.
I think that's the Panamanian tobacco.
Oh.
Because the on the rare occasions that I've had Panamanian in other cigars, it had that element also.
That's funny. I was about to say that, and you said it.
Well, I think let's go around the
You feel
table,
good.
starting with Paul again. Let's rate it.
I give it a solid 4 or 5.
I have to agree. 4.5. This is a very nice cigar.
Yeah, no, I can't argue
Nice,
with the
beautiful
4.5.
ash too. Look at that.
I want to change it up. I think this is a 4.75.
Whoa!
I was so going to say that, but then I was going to go with the consensus. I was going to go with the flow.
Don't go with
Don't
the
go with the
flow.
flow.
Don't go with
I'm
the
not
flow.
going to go with the flow. 4.65. I'm not going to go
4.65, 4.75.
We're going to make him do some math.
4.7. It's 4.58 and 5/8.
I want the viewers to get out their calculators
There you
when
go.
he's doing
4,
that,
5.
just to make sure he's correct, and then send it in and see if he.
When you do that, you'll find out I am correct. Don't go by any. I am the original, the one and only. So just stick with what got you here.
Not a chance.
Okay.
Now I should
yeah.
point out
How much?
this is not one of the cheaper or less expensive. I mean, it's not a real high price cigar, but
No,
it's,
not at all.
No.
but it's not one of the less expensive
No,
Alec
this the
Bradleys.
Robusto is $6.95.
Okay.
$6.95. So for what? 20 in a bundle?
22 in a box.
22 in. But how many in a
We
bundle?
do, we
20
do
in a
sell
bundle.
them. We do sell them 20 in a bundle.
Yeah, because then we can save the money on the boxes.
Right.
All right, so there's 20 in a bundle, so it's
20 in a
almost
bundle.
$140, right?
It's more.
Well, the box is 100. Box is 150.
100
250.
All right, but that's a box.
That's a box.
Well, we're going to sell it by the bundle.
Bundle of 20.
Bundle 20
Yes.
at $6.95. That makes it
Correct.
$139.
Okay.
Do the math. Check me out.
I believe you.
So 130. So what should we sell these for? I'm in a real good mood.
100.
$1.49.
135.
I'm not in that good a mood. How much?
I think $100 for a
Huh?
bundle of 20 is a great deal.
That is a great deal.
125.
100.
No,
He's trying to keep some money in his pocket.
$75.
Oh,
Holy
come
mackerel.
on.
That's less than half.
Yeah.
Tia?
I could do better. What'd you say, 65?
75.
75, 65.
65.
I
64.
like 65.
65.
You like 60?
64.
Okay, how you give my money away?
Yes.
No,
Last
that's-
week, last week's was $69.95. Want to do
Oh,
that?
so I was
But
kind
I
of
was
close.
25 though. We're only giving them 20.
Oh, okay.
So we got to go down lower.
So you want to go even cheaper? Oh, boy.
I do. Let's blow them away.
I'm out of a job.
Now we're really, really into the spring. And they're starting to hit the links. They're out there. They're storming the stores. I'd say till April 15th, $49.95.
Wow.
Okay.
That's like 2/3 off, more than 2/3 off.
That's
You know what
crazy.
I want to say to that?
I'm choking over here on that.
Face.
Now again, you got to go to cccigars.com. That's
Double C cigars.com.
cigars.com. Cut out the little coupon or bring it in on your smartphone. And 5 to a customer while supplies last. Don't be locked out.
Well, that's
Can
a great
they-
price.
$49.95. Are you
50
kidding
bucks?
me?
Wow.
Let's do it.
Can they
Let's
print
do
out a
it.
coupon every day?
Until supplies last.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, what's our next
pretty good.
topic? Our next topic is
What's your favorite bundled cigar?
bundle cigars.
Best
Your favorite
value
value bundle
bundle.
cigars.
Value bundle cigars.
We're always talking about the $7, $8, $9, $10 cigars.
Yeah, let's break it down a little bit.
What are and I'm not talking about I don't know if it's necessarily the cheapest, but what do you enjoy smoking that's a
in a bundle.
bundled cigar?
That normally comes in a bundle.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Sitting around this table right now, there is some snob appeal. Nobody really is going to want to. Nobody is going to want to admit. Okay, I'll put it another way. When was the last time you smoked a quorum?
5
All right.
years ago.
When was the last time you smoked a quorum?
Quorum? 7,
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Yeah, and when was the last time you smoked
It's my
a quorum?
job. I got to smoke them.
And when was the last time you
I
smoked
smoked
one?
them
A couple weeks ago.
about 3 weeks ago. I smoked one.
Okay.
Quorum Shade.
Nah, I
Corona.
can't do the
Now,
quorum shade.
the problem is, the quorum is the largest selling bundle product combination of price and quality. It's not a bad smoke.
Nicaraguan.
Yeah, something like that. And none of us are really going to admit to smoking it on a regular basis, but at a couple bucks a throw or so, it's an outstanding bargain. There are others. We should talk
but
about those as
there-
well.
the bargain notwithstanding, there are in my Casa de Ortez,
Yeah,
for example.
Casa de
I think that
Ortez.
is it's a bundled cigar. I
Yep.
think they're like $2.50, $2.99.
It
each.
smokes like
And
a box cigar.
I think it is a fantastic cigar. And I distinctly remember the first time I had one. I was smoking. I'm not gonna. It was a $10 cigar. I'm not gonna name the company, and it was just like bleh. It was horrible. And then Ryan handed me a Casa de Ortez, and I was blown away.
Really?
Didn't you put
great.
that on your Instagram?
I don't know.
I could've sworn you did.
I have 2 that I think are excellent value bundle cigars.
Yeah.
And they're at opposite ends of the spectrum flavor-wise. The Tarano Brigade, which we carry in our
I
stores,
forgot about that cigar.
is an excellent long filler Connecticut wrapper, smooth, creamy cigar at real rock bottom bundle prices.
Hark, I think I hear a knock on the door. I think I hear a knock on the studio door. I think I hear a knock on the studio door.
Yes, he's here.
Oh!
Who's here?
What?
Let's hold the bundle discussion for the little bit into the future. We have a real treat. We have a real treat.
We have a
We have a real treat coming.
What is it?
What's the
I
treat?
don't like change.
Why don't we keep
Rob
talking about
doesn't
bundled
like-
cigars
yeah,
while
we
we're
I
can.
don't
waiting?
like change.
What was the second one? Real
Oh,
quick?
the second one is the Raleigh from
Really?
yeah.
Go.
Oh, what's this?
There's a delivery here.
Oh, wow.
Franco.
There's Chef Franco from Barbecue Barbecue. Oh, my.
Thank you.
Hi, Chef
Look at
Franco.
Wow, look,
Wow.
oh my God.
Look how
in
quickly
heaven.
everybody puts their cigar down.
Holy
know, right?
mackerel.
What do we got here? Let's see.
I don't know.
what I
Thank
got
you,
here?
Mystery
Wow.
Smoker.
Well, we
Got some
got
ribs.
rib.
Good plate.
Looks like pulled pork,
We got some pulled pork. We
Bring out
have
the good
some
some brisket,
some brisket.
and some cornbread.
Where did this come
Holy
from?
mackerel.
We got some wings.
This is
What
from
wing?
our sister company located right up the street from the Horsham store. It's called Barbecue Barbecue. You can go to the website, mybbqbbq.com. Get directions and everything. And if you guys don't mind, we're going to eat a
We're gonna
little of
eat.
this.
All right,
while
you
we
Just
do
talk.
watch us eat.
Chef Franco has prepared us a wonderful, wonderful
Look
repast
over
here.
there.
Nobody better
this
lay a
stuff
finger
is
on my
all
cornbread.
smoked right there in the.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us how you make this?
Well, I mean, the brisket, it gets smoked at least for about 12 hours. It's a slowly cooked, oven roasted, seasoned with our own seasoning.
Thank you.
I'm not
And
gonna
that's
show-
how we
I'm eating.
prepare. This is done every single day. Our ribs as well, we smoke them every single day for about 3.5 hours. It's a small, like a slow cooker, smoker. And we do the wings as well, about 3.5 hours.
Wow.
So everything you see on those platters or in our smoked product. So we have a large variety of product. So you can have from the wings, the brisket, the pulled pork, the pulled chicken, as well as the sausage. We make our own cornbread daily, and this is what you get.
Talk about the pizzas. Talk about the
And also we
pizzas.
have pizza, which we top with
Good
brisket, pulled chicken, pulled pork. Every single product is done from the wood burning oven pizza and the smoker that we also have.
So it's barbecue pizza.
It's a barbecue pizza, most of them.
Wow.
Nice.
As well, we smoke the bacon and all the pork product and the beef product. So you should give it a try.
This cornbread is better than my grandmother's
banging.
cornbread.
Absolutely.
I
Look at
know,
grandmother's
I
not
just
around.
said that.
It's
Wow.
better, I don't know.
Again,
Give it a
This hits
try.
the spot.
the address is 537 Easton Road in Horsham, right up the street from the Horsham Cigar Store, Cigar
How
Cigars.
cute it is.
And if you mention, when you walk in, if you mention you saw this on Cigar Time, you'll get a special treat, a special little gift. I won't tell you what it is, but you won't be disappointed. So if you don't mind, we're going to eat and talk at the same time.
Enjoy
Yeah, they're already eating.
They're really,
Oh, yeah.
they've been waiting for you to finish talking.
This is the brisket, right?
That is the brisket.
That's
That
so
is
good.
absolutely
Wow,
the
that
brisket.
looks good.
It's
really good.
fantastic.
Please enjoy. It was a pleasure.
Franco,
so
thank you
much,
very, very
Chef
much.
Franco.
Enjoy the rest.
Very, very kind of you. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Please enjoy, gentlemen. We'll see you soon. A barbecue. See my face.
You'll see him.
And you know
Thanks,
this is-
Franco.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Franco.
And you can tell by his accent, this is authentic barbecue.
Can you shut the door? Thanks.
So napkin?
Sides too.
I got some other special treats.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. We have the sweet mashed potatoes with
Holy
the
mackerel.
immaculate, look
Wow.
at this, marshmallow. That's how we serve it.
Wow.
And then we serve the
Oh, the
garlic,
garlic mashed
oven
potato.
roasted
Oh.
garlic mashed potatoes.
Wow.
We roast the garlic in the wood oven, and then we make the mashed potatoes. We have some incredible baked beans as well, which are done in the smoke oven. All right.
It's all right. Don't worry about
Everything
it.
go
Good, it
anywhere.
jumps right out of the bowl.
We got some other, and then we have also our
Oh,
chili
Oh,
brisket.
that
Chili.
chili's fantastic.
Chili brisket's
chili.
awesome.
Wow.
Nice and spicy. That
Wow.
will definitely kick up a notch,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Pass that
Nice.
this way.
There you go, love.
And we
You got some utensils.
Brisket
Yep.
is
I'll bring
awesome.
it out to you.
We're great.
Wow.
You know, they
What a
don't,
way to end the show.
We gotta
Yeah.
go.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
they don't call it the home of slow
We gotta
smoked
say
goodness.
bye.
We
Yeah.
gotta say goodbye. We got 10
Yeah.
Say
seconds.
goodbye.
Ah,
Here's some.
Life's too
utensils.
short not to eat barbecue.
Ciao for now, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.
bye-bye for now.
Really?
Yeah.
And eat often.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come
Thank
on,
you.
Scott.